Elliott into the wall. Around he goes. What a move by Reddick. He dives to the bottom. The Daytona 500 was supposed to open the season with fireworks and celebration. Instead, it lit a fuse NASCAR might still be trying to put out. When the smoke finally drifted away from the front stretch at Daytona International Speedway, it wasn't just wrecked cars sitting there. It was frustration, it was doubt, and it was some of the biggest names in the sport openly questioning what they had just taken part in. Tyler Reddick crossed the finish line first, but he didn't celebrate. No screaming on the radio, no fist out the window. "I didn't know if I'd won the race or not," Reddick said afterward. "I knew I crossed the start-finish line first, but I didn't know if the caution was out before that. I didn't know if Chase was ahead of me when the yellow came on. I didn't want to think I'd won and then be told seconds later that I hadn't." Let that sink in. The Daytona 500, the race every driver circles as a life goal. And the winner is sitting there, waiting for confirmation instead of soaking it in. That hesitation says something. For Reddick, this race was never just another start. Growing up in California, he made a tradition out of watching the Daytona 500 with his family. He didn't miss it. He remembered sitting on the couch, watching the pack thunder into turn 1, dreaming about what it would feel like to be in that draft. Years later, when he first tested an ARCA car at Daytona, he said it felt surreal just rolling onto the banking, the speed, the noise, the history. He used to imagine driving off turn 4, seeing the grandstands rise up in front of him. He never imagined he'd win it like this. Because the final lap wasn't clean. It wasn't a photo finish duel built on pure skill. It was a chain reaction. Carson Hocevar took the white flag out front. One lap from the biggest win of his career. Then he was turned into the outside wall. No immediate caution. The field scattered. Chase Elliott surged ahead. For a split second, it looked like he might steal it. Then he got hit. Riley Herbst tried to block a run. Brad Keselowski had momentum building like a freight train. And then everything exploded. Cars slammed together across the finish line. Joey Logano crossed it backwards. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. scraped along the wall. Keselowski limped through with the nose of his car destroyed. Smoke covered the tri-oval. And through that smoke, Reddick slipped to the bottom and drove straight to the checkered flag. "It's disappointing," Elliott said. "We were leading the Daytona 500 off turn 4, coming to the checkered and didn't win. You tell me." That's not just frustration, that's disbelief. At one point, Elliott admitted, "Maybe I should have just turned left the first time." In other words, maybe he should have blocked harder. Maybe he should have caused the wreck instead of being caught in it. That's the mindset this kind of racing creates. Keselowski was far more blunt. "The 35 just wrecked me out of nowhere," he said. "That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I had a huge run. I don't know if I get to Reddick. I don't know if I clear Stenhouse, but I would have liked to find out." He went further. "A one-lane block makes sense. But to block from the very bottom to the very top and wreck yourself and everybody else? That's just stupid." Those are strong words, and they weren't whispered in a quiet corner. They were delivered straight into microphones after the biggest race of the year. But here's the bigger issue. This wasn't just about one block on one lap. All afternoon, drivers were riding half throttle, saving fuel, staying locked in tight packs because the current car doesn't give them many other options. The next-gen machine has leveled the field so much at superspeedways that everyone runs nearly identical speeds. Equal drag, equal power, equal grip. When everyone is equal, passing becomes rare. So drivers wait. They wait for pit cycles. They wait for strategy to flip track position. They wait for someone else to make a mistake. And when no one makes one, the final lap turns into a pressure cooker. Denny Hamlin didn't dodge that reality. "There's a way," he said. "But we're going to have to increase the speeds by a lot. You've got to make handling matter. That spreads the field out. That makes it look more like racing from the past." Right now, he explained, the cars are planted, drivers don't have to lift in the corners, and when nobody lifts, the pack stays stacked, 3 wide, 4 wide, inches apart at nearly 200 miles per hour. It looks dramatic, it feels tense, but it also means one wrong move wipes out half the contenders. Hamlin even suggested experimenting with a new package at Daytona for the clash. Reduce spoiler, force drivers to lift, make handling count again. More lifting, he said. We need more lifting. Because lifting creates separation. Separation creates opportunities, and opportunities create real passes, not desperation blocks. Still, while the garage debated aerodynamics and insurance policies, Reddick was living a different story. Last year was really hard for all of us, he said. At this level, especially driving for a team co-owned by Michael Jordan, expectations are high. You're not paid to run 10th. You're paid to win. There were long stretches without victories. Questions start creeping in. Are we missing something? Are we good enough? Then there's family. Before the race, Reddick's young son asked him, "Are you finally going to win this race?" That kind of question sticks with you. It makes the pressure feel heavier, but it also makes the purpose clearer. Reddick spoke about the sacrifices his parents and grandparents made, the miles, the money, the belief when results didn't come quickly. He talked about balancing life at home with the relentless grind of the Cup Series schedule. When he finally climbed out of the car, the emotion wasn't just about a trophy. It was about validation, about proving to himself and to his family that the struggle had meaning. 3 generations of effort, 1 chaotic lap, 1 Harley J. Earl trophy. Meanwhile, others were left replaying what might have been. Hochevar, who led at the white flag, finished 19th. "It's unfortunate that a car in my mirror at the white won the race," he said. Zane Smith had a run building and left frustrated that it wasn't enough. Several drivers walked out of the infield care center shaking their heads. Because the truth is, the Daytona 500 now often comes down to timing chaos rather than controlling it. Reddick admitted something important. "I don't win that race without Riley Herbst, that's a fact." Herbst pushed him forward, committed to a lane, made a split-second choice to try and win it himself. From Reddick's perspective, that was fair racing. From Keselowski's perspective, it crossed a line. And that split in opinion might be the most important takeaway of all. When drivers disagree that sharply about what's acceptable, when veterans call moves very, very stupid, when the winner waits in silence because he's not even sure if the finish will stand, it signals something deeper than one wild afternoon. So what was this? Classic Daytona madness? The kind that has defined the race for decades? Or is it the natural outcome of a car that compresses the field so tightly that wrecking becomes the only reliable passing tool? The Daytona 500 is supposed to feel epic, triumphant, clear. Instead, it felt unsettled. And if the sport doesn't decide which direction it wants to go, more lifting or more stacking, more separation or more chaos, this won't be the last time the biggest race of the year ends with drivers arguing about what just happened. The checkered flag waved, the trophy was handed out, but the debate is just getting started.